And welcome back to another episode of the Nothing to Do podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy, and baseball is back. Baseball is back, and I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know if I talked baseball the last time. No, I was talking hella Will Smith, Chris Rock nonsense these last two episodes, but yeah, man, Red Sox is back, and Red Sox are back in action, and we are 7-7 right now. I think we barely scraped away against the Rays yesterday. A couple days, yeah, yesterday, yes, last night. I've also been busy watching NBA playoffs, which I'll get into later. But man, the Red Sox, man, the AL East is stacked this year, stacked. The Blue Jays look like they came to play. They still lack an ace for pitching. If they had that one ace, for some reason they went super offensive heavy in the offseason. They signed like Matt Chapman. They signed who they signed? They signed Matt Chapman. Sheesh. Look at me. Can you guys sound prepared? No. They signed some bats. They got a lineup, a scary ass lineup. And it's frustrating because we still held them to under, 5 and under runs for the most part in that series that we just came off of a couple of days ago. And we still lost. The Red Sox, the Red Sox are getting me tight this year, at least offensively, because we're not able to like string those hits together to get those runs. We're leaving a lot of runners stranded. We have like 3 or 4 automatic outs in like Arauz. He's a bum. He belongs in AA, not even AAA. Fucking send that motherfucker to Portland. Jackie Bradley Jr., who's a classic Red Sox. I can still picture that grand slam he hit against Houston in 2018. I remember exactly where I was sitting when I was living in New York at the time. But he's also an automatic out. Who else? Automatic out. Christian Vasquez he's picking up a little bit, but he was an auto. Like we have like too many automatic outs right now in the bottom of our lineup. Bobby Dahlbeck, another one. Bobby Dahlbeck, he's one I feel like he's gonna be like a Benintendi in that he has a lot of potential that he's probably not gonna reach in Boston if he does ever. And he'll play better. I think he'll get better. He showed what he can do at the end of last season, where he was just fucking raking. He was hitting like a home run every week, every 3 games or whatnot. But yeah, he's gonna end up like a Benintendi. Uh, first round. I believe he was a first rounder who we had a lot of high hopes for. Didn't necessarily reach that potential, that ceiling that we needed to reach, but he'll get good enough where we can get something for him down the line. But what we need is pitching. I don't know what the fuck happened to Chris Sale. Chris Sale, I thought he was ready to go, and like before the season started, I read somewhere that he was injured. He like something with his fucking rib or some shit. He strained something in his rib, and he's out indefinitely right now. We got Eovaldi. It's funny, and I'm still sticking to this. Eovaldi, he's gonna clean up his act, and he's gonna be a dark horse Cy Young. And I literally the day on opening day against the Yankees, I texted my boy Steve. I shout out Steve, and I was like, Eovaldi, dark horse, Cy Young this year. 2 pitches later, he gives up that home run to Aaron Judge to like tie the game or be down by one. Because I think we came out hot that first inning on opening day, and we lost unfortunately. But he's one. Pavetta and Tanner Houck are 2 sides of the same coin right now. Because last year they both came in and they both got crazy stuff. Pavetta got a crazy curveball. Houck got a crazy slider, and I'm pretty sure he got a crazy sinker. Tanner Houck, he reminds me of like a right-handed Chris Sale. That dude, his delivery, he got that aggressive delivery, almost like sidearm delivery, and he's nice. He's got stuff, and he showed both him and Pavetta showed that they can pitch in the clutch against Tampa Bay last year in the playoffs. But they're teetering on that like, all right, they're teetering on that next level, and this is the year we're gonna see. Right now, Tanner Houck, his first couple starts, his start against did he start against the Yankees? I believe he started against the Yankees in that game that we won on a Sunday night. He started against the Blue Jays. He held them to I think 2 runs. through 5 or 6. And Pavetta is getting shelled out there. His ERA is like 11. He's given up like at least 5 home runs already. He gave up like 20 some home runs last year, which was like top 10 in the majors. And it's frustrating to watch. And then we got Rich Hill out there, who's a straight bum. He's like fucking 47 years old, and he literally throws like 88 miles per hour. He's got good bite on his stuff, but yo, like watching him pitch out there, to all my Red Sox fans, that's like watching it's like a slightly better version of Martin Perez. When Martin Perez went out on the mound last year, like I held my breath every pitch. Like he was the most frustrating pitcher to watch. Like he was a bum, a straight bum. Um, yeah. So I mean, I think Eovaldi, you'll get it. Like he'll clean his shit up. He's not doing terribly either, but like he showed what he can give us, and he hasn't showed that in his first 3 starts here. In 2022. But I'm gonna say this, man. Toronto, they're looking good. I think they're gonna win the division. I'm gonna be real. I think they're gonna win the division. I think it's gonna be an all AL East. I think it's gonna be an all AL East wild card again. It's gonna be. I gotta go with my Red Sox. They're not gonna get as many wins as they did last year. I don't think. I think they'll scrape 90 wins this year, and they'll probably go up against Tampa Bay. Like, dude, Wander Franco is a fucking problem. Corey Kluber, I mean, we didn't let him up. We dropped 4 on him in the first like 4 innings, but he's a vet. I don't see the Yankees. The Yankees, it's like what they signed Josh Donaldson, another bum. They're still relying on that like heavy Bronx Bombers format in the late '90s, early 2000s, where they just got a bunch of power hitters. I don't think it's gonna work anymore. I don't think the Yankees know how to look at me like I'm a fucking GM too, right? This is coming from a dude who hasn't played past freshman year of high school baseball. But hey, I play a lot of PS4. I played a lot of the show, right? Um, no, I think the way they build their team is very, very power heavy. Um, I don't think they're a very dynamic team. I don't think they're a very multi-dimensional team, and I think, and that's showed in the last like 5 years. 5 years, like yeah, like 5 years. I mean, 4 years, 4 years ish since. I mean, I remember since like 2018 when we beat them in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't. I think that's gonna be that. I think. I hope. I pray. Um, Vlad is gonna be MVP this year. Also with Trevor Story. Trevor Story, I think in the last couple of games they moved him up, but I don't like him batting sixth in the lineup. And it's tough because we can't really move anyone right now. Like Kike Hernandez, he's a very streaky hitter. He's a good leadoff. He's a decent leadoff hitter. But when he gets hot, he gets hot. And he showed that last year. But Trevor Story needs more at bats. We just signed him to 5 years, however many $1 million, I forget. It's like 180 or some shit. And he needs more looks at the plate. And he hasn't been doing bad for the most part. I just think he needs more looks at the plate. But it's just like, damn, who do you move? You move Devers, you move Bogarts, you move JD, who are all Devers is playing out of Devers is playing for that contract, boy. The GM handed him the ball, is handing the bat, saying, yo, play for that contract, son. Play for that contract. But yeah, yeah, but I'm going my prediction for AL MVP. I'm hoping it's Vladdy again. Shohei, Shohei's always gonna steal the show. And I love Shohei. I don't want to call him over. He's not overrated. Let me not jump the gun. He's not overrated. He's not starting at as high. I think he has like a 4 ERA right now. I don't think he's got like 3 home runs already, but he's batting like 240. I think pitchers, especially after last year, they're gonna know how to pitch to him more. And he's gonna still hit for 35 plus, right? 30 plus. He's gonna bat like 240, and he's got crazy stuff behind his arm. But I'm gonna say, I mean, and it's a big case, but the biggest reason he won MVP last year is because one is good. It's good for the sport of baseball, right? We got like the fucking new Japanese Babe Ruth, right? And then yeah, he's a two-way player. and he pitched under 4 ERA last year, had 40 plus home runs last or right, he had like 40 plus home runs last year. Yeah. So yeah, but Vladdy, man, that's my dude, man. And when he said that shit, talking about, I got nervous because he's like, damn, you already don't. He's already here, starting to talk shit. Like, oh, last year was a trailer. This is gonna be the movie this year. But he's still starting off hot. He's getting a little anxious at the plate. I think he's batting just under 300, but he's already got like 5 bombs. He's getting a lot of swing and misses though, taking a lot of big hacks. But yo, man, that dude's a fucking legend. And it's crazy to think, this is wild to think that all these players, like, I'm at the age now where, um, I'm at the age now where all these players are like younger, like they were born in the 2000s, right? Like these guys are like 20 years old, 19 years old, 22 years old, and you just watch them, it's like, yo, like I remember me at that age, like literally not knowing what the fuck to do with my life and fucking literally just fucking chilling, smoking, getting high as shit, playing fucking. I'm playing video game. I'm playing baseball on my PS4. These guys are out here, fucking, literally hitting bombs and just fucking full grown ass men at that. Yo, when I was 20 years old, I still looked like I could have been a freshman in high school. At this point, I look like I could be I look like a freshman in college. What can I say? I can't complain. I got good genes. That's what they all say, right? Oh, you look good. You look good. You want them to say that now. It's good for later. Um, it's funny. I mean, but it's just like it's so wild. Like just looking at these, they're fucking like they're men, but they're kids. They're literally 20-year-old. They're all kids. Like when you think about it, like being 20 years old is like you're still a fucking kid, right? And these kids are like, it's kind of nuts to think about. But yeah, and oof, them Celtics, man. Listen, man, I said it. Listen, okay, I've said it before. I've always been. I'm slowly coming in. This is bad time for me right now because I look like the ill bandwagon. I started becoming like a closeted Celtics fan around the time Kyrie was on the team, but I never. But I was never like, yo, I'm a Celtics fan now just because like I always been ride or die LeBron. Always been ride or die LeBron. LeBron, I've said this before, LeBron James is the reason why I started watching basketball in 2003 when he got drafted by the Cavs, right? Um, and I'm still like, yo, I'm still team LeBron all the way. But I texted my group chat with some of my friends and I was like, yo, I think I'm a Celtics fan now. And they were like, hell no, like get the fuck out of here. Like all they giving me mad shit. And they were like, yo, who's the head coach, all this shit. And I was like, yo, it's Udoka, it's Udoka, whatever. Yeah, I definitely, I'm coming off as a very spineless and feeble um sports fan. But the reason that's not the case is because with baseball, I've taken yeah, I can't even say I've taken my legs for baseball because like, I mean, yeah, 2003 hurt, but then literally right after we won the World Series, and then I've seen like 4 chips since. Um, I mean, I've been a Pats fan too, so yeah, that's another 6 rings right there that I've got to enjoy. We're pretty spoiled as New England fans. But yo, it's more I am rooting for the Celtics to go to win it all. And I said it last week before game 1. I said Celtics in 7. And boy, oh boy, that 2-0 star is looking real nice right now. That's the thing with the Nets, brother. As good as the Nets are, and as deep as they may seem, and I don't even think they seem that deep. I'm only saying that because of what, like Steph Curry, and they got Ben Simmons supposed to be healthy for tonight's game 3. He's not going to be a problem offensively. He'll probably put the clamps defensively on some players, but on like maybe he'll put the clamp. They'll put him on Tatum or Brown. But that's the thing, the stat line. Listen, nobody in game 2. I'm gonna tell you this: in game 2, were the Celtics. I'm not gonna say we yet. I'm gonna give it a couple more years of being an open an out of the closet Celtics fan before I start saying we. The only team I feel comfortable saying we is with the Pats and with the Reds. More the Red Sox, but the Pats too. Because it's funny enough, I've watched more Pats football now with Mac Jones in these last 2 years, or last year. My fault, not 2 years, because Cam Newton was the our keeper before. But this last year and a half, than I have with Brady. Um, but what was I saying? The Celtics. Listen, the thing with the Nets is they need both KD and Kyrie to go for 30 to stay in the game, to make it a game, to win the game, not let alone win the game, right? The Celtics, Jaylen Brown was their highest scorer that day on game 2. He dropped 23 points. Jason Tatum dropped 19 points, or 20, or it might have been 22 because he went off in the end of the fourth quarter to hit some daggers. You had Horford for 17, Marcus Smart for 15. You had Grant Williams for like 15. You had that dude Gritchard out of nowhere, like going off in the fourth quarter for 15. Like that's what the Celtics will do to you, and that, like that's winning basketball. That's how, like, that's a basketball team right there. I mean, like, Jason Tatum's a superstar. Jaylen Brown, it's funny. Jaylen Brown has that superstar talent. I think he's, after this year, and then if he stays healthy in the year to come, he'll get there too. But he's they don't. But neither of them yet. Jason Tatum maybe more than Jaylen Brown, but neither of them yet are in a conversation with like a Damian Lillard type of superstar, a Kyrie, a KD, a LeBron, a Harden. Who else? Donovan Mitchell. Who else? Devin. Jesus Christ, why am I forgetting his name? Is it Devin Brooks? Not Devin. His name is not Devin Brooks. Devin Booker. Sorry, Booker. I feel like Jason Tatum, maybe Jaylen Brown, like they don't have that superstar yet. And the fact that they're doing this with that team, and if they can keep like this core together, like, yo, the Celtics are gonna be a problem. And I'm still saying this, yo, Celtics in 7, and I'm still sticking to 7. We're up 2-0 right now. The Celtics are up 2-0 right now. They're still facing KD and Kyrie, 2 champions, 2 of the best scorers in the league, 2 of the most without a doubt skilled players in the entire NBA. They still got to get in. Like, Kyrie showed you what he could do in the fourth quarter of that game 1. Even though, the Celtics were going in with an 11-point, 12-point lead going into the fourth quarter, you erased that in like 2 minutes. And then we all know how that story ended there. But yo, Kyrie's funny. Yo, Kyrie is like that kid right now that's like, who has his feelings hurt, but like, but he's like, no, I ain't mad. Like, nah, it's cool. Like, oh, it's whatever. Like, it's not like, yo, them Celtics fan, they know how to get under his skin, and that shit showed in game 2. And it was cool to see, like, in game 1 where he was chirping back and forth. That shit was funny, but it's just like, yo, Kyrie, they really know, like, he's probably talking, like, he probably texted LeBron after game 2, like, yo, how did you drop that 47 in game 6? I still remember that he dropped like 40 plus in the game 6 where they were down 3-2 going into the TD Garden, when LeBron was still at the Heat. And that was kind of when LeBron transcended, finally, like, broke that glass ceiling of like playing against the Celtics and playing in TD Garden, because LeBron, the Celtics still, I feel like he finally achieved that level of respect, like Derek Jeter almost, but like they still hate LeBron. The Celtics fans still like don't like LeBron, but yeah, man, Kyrie, man, these fans are ruthless. It's funny. Sheesh, man. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what some of the stuff that they were chanting, like, they were probably getting real disrespectful, like with his religious stuff and his vaccine shit, and like in terms of like billboards and shit they may have been chanting, but the Celtics, man, the Celtics can get in that ass, yo. Boston fans are New England fans are no joke. I'm gonna tell you that right now. New England fans are no joke. So when you come to Fenway for the playoffs, when you come to TD Garden for the playoffs, when you come to Gillette Stadium for the playoffs, just know, man. Just fucking know. We'll get in that ass. We will get in that ass. Um, but yeah, man. Celtics in 7. They will go up against. Say they'll probably see the. Actually, I don't even know what the bracket's looking like. I want to say it's They'll probably see the Sixers. Yeah, because that's 1 and 2. So they'll see the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I don't think the Sixers and like Harden has to turn the fuck up. I don't know what he's doing for them right now. I've been following that series too much. It hasn't been that. Really, the only interesting series is this Nets Celtics one and the Timberwolves one. Timberwolves Grizzlies and the fucking Timberwolves. I saw that whole collapse, bro. I was in the kitchen cooking a shrimp scampi, and I had the game on kick. I was like, damn, the Timberwolves really they're really doing this to the 2 seed, and they fucking blew it. They blew it. Yeah. So it's been a while since I talked sports, yo. A long time. When I came in hot, not hot. I came in unscripted today. I didn't really prep. I tried to prep something. I knew I was going to talk. The Red Sox, they're going to be, the Red Sox are going to be frustrated. I can already feel it. They're going to be very frustrated. I think that they're going to, like I said, they're going to etch out another wild card this year, but they're going to be very frustrating to watch. I mean, even the first 2 games kind of I feel like that just said that the first 2 series said that, man, even fucking Patriots Day said that, or that Patriots Day series against the Twins, it's just like set the tone for like what we're gonna get this season. It's gonna be a lot of men left on base. It's gonna be a lot of blown leads. Still no identity. Like we got that dude Dykman is actually, or Diekman, however you say his name. We got Diekman and we got Garrett Whitlock in that bullpen holding it down. That's really it. Sawamura solid. He's solid. Matt Barnes, I don't know if we completely destroyed his career after last year because, after the All-Star break last year, he was a dead man. Like he could not throw the ball. We literally had to deactivate him like for the end of the season. And he held together against the Rays last night for the save, but boy, oh boy, I think his ERA is still like above 4. So I'm not sure. I haven't personally seen him pitch with my eyes yet. Just because I haven't these last couple of days I've been watching playoff basketball. But yeah, man. And fuck Cox Network and fuck Xfinity. Cause I literally like how the fuck. Tell me this. Riddle me this. Speaking of which, I forgot I saw the new Batman. I'll talk about that in a second. But how do I get MLB TV for free? How do I have access to all of the other teams in Major League Baseball except for my own team here in New England? Like, what kind of fucking monopoly does Cox Xfinity have in New England? You can't watch NESN. You can't fucking watch NESN without having without them being your provider, which is fucking bullshit, and I hate it. I'm over here still streaming. I'm still trying to finesse all these streams on fucking on all these sites just to watch the Red Sox. It's like, yo, this is madness. Like, y'all really over here trying to tax me, and those cable companies, like, they're no fucking joke, man. They'll charge you $20 for now services that you can get for like, you roll up Hulu and Netflix and HBO Max and then a YouTube TV subscription, that all comes out to less than $100 a month, right? Meanwhile, or you could pay for a landline, some Wi-Fi and cable for like $200 a month. Makes no fucking sense. So fuck Xfinity and fuck Cox for making it that much harder to take in the one true pastime that I still have left, because I don't even play video games like I used to anymore. Like, I'll play here and there, but nothing really sticks. I don't have time. I actually I started playing tennis again with my boy Tom, and that was nice. I'm trying to get back in the swing. But what I'm trying to say is that like baseball, my Red Sox is the one true, still the one small pastime that I still have left in this world of adulthood. And y'all really making me like go out here and get that shit. And it's really frustrating. And it hurts my feelings. So, anyways, the new Batman. You know what? I really like the new Batman. I'm gonna say this right now. I don't even want to compare. Like the only way I compare this Batman to the last Batman is the actual Batman Bruce Wayne character, right? Because I think Robert Pattinson did a good job. I don't think it's necessarily his fault. I didn't like Bruce Wayne. That's the only thing I didn't like. Batman was cool. I liked they brought back a lot of his gadgets. A lot of people it didn't like the movie because they felt like there wasn't enough action, which I guess like I thought there was enough action. Like if any, I thought the fighting was better than the Christopher Nolan ones because the Christopher Nolan ones, like Batman was super stiff. My boy, he fought with his arms like this, and he was just doing this, just like, and I mean, and it's funny. I feel like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, it like the action, that type of action, like the fighting, was the least thing you can like. It almost fell back in terms of like it didn't add or take away from the movie. And I'm trying to say that like it's a positive thing. Like it wasn't like you weren't really looking for crazy action. There was like a lot of crazy chase scenes and things like, but like in terms of like Batman just like beating niggas the fuck up. Like that's not really what those movies were about. Neither was this one, but those fight scenes were a lot better in this than they were in that movie. People didn't. There were some people who didn't like it because they thought it was just like there was no action. It was just all him being. It was like a fuck. They said. I heard like it was just a big episode of like Law and Order SVU type shit. Just funny, but that's all. I also like that because it's just like it focused more on like the fact that Batman was a detective, and it brought out like different gadgets from like the Bat Cave and how he had those contact lenses. One thing I also personally liked about it, I've never I've never been a crazy Batman fan in terms of like the comics and knowing all the lore and stuff. I became one because of the Arkham games, which those games are like still some of my favorite video games to date. And that movie had a it brought in those like Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight vibes into the movie. It reminded me of it a lot. I thought they did a really good job. Catwoman was dope. But yeah, they made Bruce. That's the only thing I didn't like. It. They made Bruce Wayne way too emo. Like Bruce Wayne, they focus on like a Bruce Wayne that was like emo and like his like they focus on his privilege a lot and all that stuff and like him growing as a superhero on that level, which was cool, I guess. But like, I don't like when I think of Batman or when I think of Bruce Wayne. Like that's not what we think of Bruce Wayne as being like a more chilled out Iron Man. Like he's still like a billionaire playboy asshole type, you know. Um, where in this case it's just like that because like that it's almost like that's how he separated himself from Batman, but like Bruce Wayne and Batman were very much the same character in a lot of ways in this movie. um where it's just like Batman was like angry and Bruce Wayne was like sad, right? And then I liked where it's just like Batman was angry and was a beast, and then like Bruce Wayne was just like a rich billionaire asshole. And I like that Bruce Wayne better personally. But I thought the movie was really good. I thought the villain was dope. Some people didn't like the villain because they thought like a lot, especially with the camera footage, like the Riddler, like they thought he was biting like the Heath Ledger type of like style of acting, or not style of acting, but just like all that stuff. But I think given the hype that was on this movie upon its release, I think I did a good job living up to it. I think it set up a lot of like the sequel dope. I think this new Joker is gonna be pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 3.5 out of 5 bags of popcorn. And yeah, I thought it was solid. My boys hate the movie. My boys Zeb, shout out to Zeb, but also fuck you, Zeb. He was talking mad shit. He said it sucked. He said Bruce Wayne was whack. He said Robert Pattinson is not Batman, and you can eat a dick. Um, very politely, respectfully eat a dick. I thought that movie was great. um, yeah, that was a good movie. But yeah, man. What else I got? Oh my god, yo. So I was catching up with an old friend from New York, um, the other day. Yes, yesterday I believe, right? We were just chilling, chatting over the phone, and she was telling me a I want to know to the women out there and the men. How am I gonna present this story? So we were just talking, we were just catching up shit, and she was like, we were just talking about like getting in shape or like I don't know, we were just bullshit. We were talking on the phone, right? And she was telling me that she had a trainer once, but she had to like but he turned out to be a real creep, and I was like, yeah. And I always get that vibe about like personal trainers, especially like I don't know. I feel like it's a very sketchy, and I have friends and family who are personal trainers. I feel like I'm going into that tangent. We're just like, no, I have friends who are black, but um, no, but it's just like I just like that's like a weird. It's almost like I almost feel like that's like personal trainers should be like an OBGYN, right? Like there should not be any guy OBGYNs. And obviously it's a little bit different, but it's just like there is a level of like boundaries and creepiness. Not even creepiness, but it's just like honestly that profession of being a personal trainer for like especially as a guy for like women is just like it's just like you're kind of preying on women. And maybe preying is not the right word because just like there's definitely creepy people like who definitely probably do it, and there's people that do it like subtly, and maybe it works for them, maybe it doesn't. But it's also, oh, excuse me, it's also like, really, bro, like I don't know. I, anyways, I digress. So she had this personal trainer, and she was like, yeah, um, no, she's like, he turned out to be a creep. He like fell in love with me. Listen, bought her, he bought her Prada shoes. He would like buy her a bunch of shit. And one of the things were like these Prada slippers or whatever, right? It's like, okay, damn. And then, and I thought she was joking, and I was like playing along with the joke, and then I was like, wait, are you serious right now? Oh, she's like, oh no, you're 100%. She like got his she oh my god, he got her birthday tatted like on his chest, and like he was like this ex Navy SEAL or whatever, this ex Navy guy, and he like professed his love for her and all this shit, and she was like, what the hell, this is mad weird, like no. um and yeah, that's kind of the story. It's not really I mean, I say this story to say this, like, is that guy bugging? Yes, he is bugging. Ladies, as a woman in that position, will you do you like, it's funny because she was saying like, oh, I mean, I didn't think too much of it. He was buying me stuff, all that stuff. Like, and in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't, you know better. She was also a lot younger. I think she was like 19 or 20. But she's a good looking woman. And I don't like, I'm gonna say, yo, women, good looking women know that they're good looking. They know that they turn heads, and they know the effect that they have on certain um on men, especially certain men, right? Um, is she wrong for accepting those gifts? Do you believe her when she says that she wasn't really like, she didn't really catch the, or maybe a little bit, but like she was like kind of, she said she was kind of surprised when that he did all that. And yeah, I don't know. That shit was mad funny. That shit was, it was a wild story. And yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like, he was do you think that on some level, like she was taking advantage of that relationship? I think she may have been, but I don't necessarily blame her. Like, fuck it, she fucking got a sugar daddy without having to suck any dick. So that's cool. At least that I know of, right? And then like good for you, more power to you, right? Um, is this guy a straight up chump for like for falling like for that bullshit? Literally, yo, he got her birthday tatted on his chest. And when he said no, he straight dipped, bro. He went to like I don't even know. It's funny. This is a this is something I want to discuss when I have somebody else on the show. But yo, what are your thoughts? But tell me what are your thoughts? And yo, Jesus Santísimo. But yeah, this guy came in, was like, yo, you're the love of my life. Meanwhile, this girl's like 20. This guy's like 45 years old. It's like, yo, it's these army types, bro. They be falling in love, bro. I don't know, like something happens to you when you go to the army, yo. Shout out to yo, yo. Shout out to you for protecting the country, but I don't know. Sheesh. I have no comment. I should have probably prepped the story better. I'll probably tell it again on this show, and I'll unravel a little better. But that's been the show for today. I wanted to get back on the mic. This is sort of the this is sort of where the meta talks come in. I'm trying to stay consistent with all this. Get back on when 2 years ago when I started, I was pumping out episodes on a weekly basis, like I was fucking Joe Rogan or some shit. And then I had to take a break. And episodes started coming once a month, once every 2 months. Sometimes I'll go on a 3-month break before I get back on the mic. I'm trying to at least average every 2 weeks, even if it's by myself. I gotta get more people on here. I gotta make this whole thing, this wall over here. Gotta put some shit in el fondo in the background there. Um, yeah, that's really, I don't have any shout outs right now. Do I have any shout outs? I don't think I have any shout outs. Do I have any shout outs? I don't have any shout outs. Do I have good news of the week? Not that I prepared. I didn't prepare any good news this week. I told y'all I came in unscripted. And Juancito's been MIA for a minute now. Juancito, where you at? I need you because I'm here dolo. I'm here super duper dolo. You see? I don't got nobody there. I don't got anybody over here. It's just me over here. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. I don't got nothing. So that being said, until next time, you dirtbags, holla.